Hello, viewers. Welcome to yet another unique edition of Nasscom Insights Leader Talks. Why is this unique? Because in today's episode, we are not discussing a Nasscom report, but this is a report I wish it was made by us. This report is none other than the LTIMindtree Technology Radar 2025. The LTIMindtree Technology Radar 2025 is curated by LTIM's Technology Council and research teams to keep enterprises and individuals informed. It serves as a strategic foresight tool, highlighting 55 key technologies across digital innovation, foundation, experience, and business operations, spanning many horizons. The report maps current technologies and provides a forward-looking perspective, helping businesses make strategic investments for sustainable growth. That's all you will hear from me about the report, because to share more details, we have with us Indranil Mitra. Indranil Mitra heads LTIMindtree Research and is currently based out of Mumbai. With over 25 years of experience, Indranil plays a pivotal role in shaping LTIMindtree's innovation agenda and driving strategic initiatives across emerging technologies. With more than 5 years of experience at L&T leading various technology initiatives, he is currently driving research on quantum and advanced AI. Welcome to the show, Indranil.
Thank you, Achyuta. Pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Indranil, just want to quickly get started with the purpose of LTIM coming together to create such a comprehensive study. What was the origin of the thought? What were you trying to aim for? Indranil, over to you.
Sure. So basically, Achyuta, as you are more intimately aware, today's world is one of a deep digital innovation-led transformation across the industry segments. And any innovation goes through typically three life cycle stages. The first stage being awareness, where you need to become aware of what are the emerging technology trends that you need to explore for relevance in your enterprise and your ecosystem. The second is preparation, wherein you probably try out the technology through minor prototypes, POCs, POTs, etc. And then based on the learnings and takeaways from those initial phases, you get into a stage where you lean into the innovation and scale it up for maximum benefit.
Right.
I think our report aims to inform that initial awareness stage of the innovation life cycle, wherein we, on behalf of our own enterprise and for the larger ecosystem, scan the horizon of emerging technologies and curate the ones which we see as the most significant. It started off as an internal effort to inform our own innovation pipeline, but we've seen that it's finding traction with a lot of our clients and partners as well. The intent is to demystify some of these emerging technologies, to give a bit of an overview of how it's impacting industry, society. It's not a detailed treatise, but it intends to inform you about the technology. And also, we assess these emerging trends from the perspective of their readiness for adoption. So we use three vectors. One is their technology maturity level or the technology readiness level. The second is the adoption trends. Where do we see it being adopted, or is it being adopted at all in the industry? And lastly, we do an assessment of its long-term potential in the industry and society, which we call the market potential. And based on this, we place these technologies on the three horizons. And it's a tool which helps us prioritize which ones to invest in more immediately from a priority perspective and which ones to keep an eye on from a long-term readiness perspective. So that's really where we started. It started off as an internal initiative, but now it's finding traction in the client communities as well.
No, and I think that's excellent that you have done something like this, something that started as just an internal assessment, but really you started offering it to clients because there's the value there. And I think it's very important, especially around emerging technologies, because they're changing so fast, right? And you need this yearly assessment, because what you assess this year and next year may be very, very drastically different because of technology advancement. So I think it's a great tool that you've created. Not just you've talked about why you did this. Now what it is all about, what does it include? How do you look at the tech landscape through the lens of the Technology Radar report? Could you dive deeper into that part, please, Anil?
Yes. So basically, the radar looks at technology in certain segments. Now, technology nowadays is so interrelated and vertically and horizontally scalable that it's a challenging effort to put technology in a box, but still we've attempted to put these 55 technology trends that we've curated into four broad technology segments. The first one being what we call the digital foundation layer, which is the one that deals with the infrastructure related trends, the cybersecurity related trends, which are really the brick and mortar of the modern digital world. And these trends deal with how the infrastructure and cybersecurity adoption trends are evolving in the ecosystem, and what the CIOs, CTOs, and broad technologists should keep an eye on from a long-term perspective. The next layer is the business operations, as you called it out, which is the core technology layer where the enterprise systems sit. This is undergoing rapid transformation from the cloud nativity levels to now being disrupted through agentic systems. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go deeper into the conversation. The next layer up is the digital innovation layer, wherein the core infrastructure is orchestrated by various technologies to drive business value for the enterprise and deliver value to the customers, which we call the digital innovation layer. And last but not the least, with the wide adoption of technology in every aspect of our life, the way we experience technology is also changing in our physical space, in our digital space. The way we deal with the web, the way we deal with our enterprise systems is changing. So that is the layer which we talk about in the experience tech segment. So these are the four broad segments that we look into for looking into the trends. And we've curated 55 technology trends this year, and I'll be happy to talk a little bit more about them as we go forward.
Great. I think this is a very comprehensive structure that is easy to follow from an understanding perspective. But do tell me, Indranil, the thing about technologies, emerging technologies, is to really is the hype and reality. I think we completely always see that, right? I mean, if you open LinkedIn, you open any resource, it's all about AI, agentic AI, etc. So, are you also covering these hot topics in detail, or are you looking at them at a higher level, at a macro level, or you're getting granular there? So, what's your take on this?
So it's a broad mix, Achyuta. As you rightly said, there's a lot which is out there. Some of it is immediate, which needs to be leaned into right now. Some
Hmm.
of it is more long term, which needs to be kept an eye on, but maybe the investments can be more pragmatic in that level.
Yeah.
So if you look at, for example, the digital foundation layer, we have gone through a generation of cloud adoption, and now cloud is fairly mainstream from an infrastructure perspective. But now enterprises are having to deal with a situation where it's not just a single cloud, but a multi-cloud heterogeneous computing kind of an ecosystem, wherein you are managing workloads across a diverse set of infrastructure elements. So heterogeneous computing is an area we talk about in this report. And that leads to the cybersecurity implications of having a zero trust architecture, because with such a widely spread out enterprise footprint of infrastructure, you need to be extremely secure in the way you enable data access and service access to your wide user base. But at the same time, we also look at some of the long term implications, which may not be of immediate urgency but need to be kept an eye on. For example, with the emergence of quantum computing, there's the threat of quantum being able to break some of the existing cybersecurity protocols. So we look at post quantum cryptography as an emerging technology trend in this segment. And we talk about how a lot of CISOs are starting to assess their cyber security landscape to assess where the major vulnerabilities lie that need to be mitigated for a quantum safe readiness perspective. From the core platforms or the business operations layer perspective, uh, there's obviously the major driving trend of cloud nativity and vertically integrated industry cloud platforms becoming fairly mainstream. So that's explored at depth. But we are also looking into how agentic AI is transforming the business operations domain by disrupting some of these technologies and making it more and more human plus agent based in the way they operate. As we move up the chain in the digital innovation layer, we look at Gen AI, we look at edge computing, we look at cyber physical systems as how they're transforming the way enterprises are delivering innovation. But we are also looking at quantum algorithms coming into the mainstream, being ready for potential business value impact in the next 3 to 4 years. So we look at a holistic uh, range of technology from the innovation perspective. And last but not the least, experience tech is undergoing rapid transformation with the physical spaces becoming smarter, our devices becoming more AI embedded, not artificial, augmented reality, mixed reality becoming more and more mainstream. So we look at all these technologies across the four layers and try to demystify it, try to place it on the appropriate horizon. But ultimately, it's for the reader to also decide as to what is relevant for their enterprise and prioritize accordingly. So ours is an attempt to inform and educate, but a lot of it needs to be customized to the specific enterprise needs as well.
Yeah, I think Indranil, that's very comprehensive, and it's a good mix of what's hitting you today and what's going to hit you 5 years down the line. In fact, the fun fact about quantum is that in 2021, 2022, Nasscom put out a report on quantum, and we thought that by 2025, 2026, it will become mainstream. But I think it's still not there, and it'll probably take a few more years to really go there, right? But that doesn't mean we shouldn't build our focus on it, and I think that's completely understandable. Now, from a usage perspective, I think you've got a great document, you've got good insights going. How do you see your clients use it? Have you had any experiences working with some of your clients where you have got them to utilize this technology radar to build solutions, restructure their strategy? Any examples that you can share in the nil? And you can keep the client name confidential if you want, but if you want to share the name, perfectly fine.
So, as you know, Achyuta, we serve more than 700 clients globally, and for many of them, we have a long standing relationship wherein they expect us to not just deliver the service but bring value to their innovation roadmap, their strategy roadmap. So, very early on in the life cycle, we started sharing these reports with our client stakeholders through our commercial colleagues and the CBO community. And we realized that the clients were looking for something which is more tailored to their ecosystem, their industry, their enterprise realities, etc. And which is where we have now started engaging along with our account teams and our research unit collaboratively to build structured reports which build on this basic radar that is now in place to create more industry aligned and enterprise aligned reports which help inform the innovation pipeline of that specific enterprise. For example, for a multinational retail major in the US, we actually collaborated with them to build a technology roadmap using the radar as the base framework, but it was contextualized to the retail industry and to the enterprise realities of their ecosystem. And that turned out to be a great conversation starter, which led to a number of transformation engagements to be kicked off jointly. And it has become sort of the starting point of a number of innovation transformation conversations in our client organizations.
Excellent. And in the nil, just to close on this discussion, I mean, we have a mixed audience out there. I mean, there are entrepreneurs, there are tech employees, there are CXOs, the students, right? How do you think they can use this document? You've already given some examples of how your clients are, how you're using it for your clients, but for a wider audience, how do you envisage them using it, utilizing it for their needs?
So I welcome the community to engage with the report. It is available on our LTIMindtree website as an interactive report as well as a downloadable report. There's a radar which you can play around with to see how the technologies interlink with each other, how they are interdependent, how they enable each other as well. So I invite the community to engage with the report, use it to understand some of the emerging technology trends, and if they want to curate it further to contextualize it to their enterprise or their industry realities, we'll be happy to work with them to do that even further, wherein we can contextualize the report to their specific context and make it more relevant for them. So I invite the community to engage with us through this, through the website and through the downloadable version to interact with the report further.
Well, thank you, Indranil, for a very informative session on this very informative and useful report. Viewers, I hope you've liked this special leader talk on LTIMindtree's Techradar 2025. This report is available for download at the Nasscom community for free. The download link is there in the description box. You could also head on to LTIMindtree's microsite for more information on the study. The link to that will also be on the description box. All Nasscom reports on emerging tech such as AI, cybersecurity, blockchain, quantum is available for free in the Nasscom community. Please like and share and subscribe the Nasscom Insights channel, and I look forward to putting together another such episode for you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.